Close your eyes and try to imagine Big Ten football of yesteryear. Big, tough offensive lines, tough physical defenses, running backs that can hit the hole and move the pile. Now open your eyes, because that exists right here, right now in 2022. And this matchup has Big Ten West elimination stakes on the line. Great time to subscribe to the channel. Big Ten content every single day. Always crush and smash the like button to spread the word of Big Ten Ted. Man, as a kid growing up in southeastern Wisconsin, this is the type of matchup that I absolutely salivate over. You got those big, beefy farm boys up front paving the way for running backs that hit the hole and consistently get over 100 yards, and these are two running games the last couple of weeks that have been really good. You look on defense, tough, physical, disciplined defense. Defense is two of the better defenses. Iowa's elite, and Wisconsin is really hitting their stride right now as a defense. This is the type of game. Bring your lunch pail. It's going to be a hard day's work, and then go home, and you're going to need some rest, because that's kind of how things are going into this game for both teams. You're going to work hard. It's going to take it out of you. You're going to be sore, and you're going to need to rest up when this one is over, because it is going to be a hard-hitting 3-hour contest between Iowa and Wisconsin in the battle for the Heartland Trophy. When I look at this matchup, I believe it starts with the Wisconsin running game. Because, man, this Wisconsin running game is looking like Wisconsin. This whole team is looking like Wisconsin of old right now, ever since Jim Leonhard has kind of put his own stamp onto this program right now. You look at Braylon Allen, what he's done, 4 straight 100-yard games since that Illinois game, and Paul Christ was fired. Wisconsin has back-to-back 200-yard rushing games as a team. And then how about Isaac Guerendo? We've kind of seen him getting better and better and better as the season has gone on. Now that Chez Malusi is out, he is the true RB2 in Madison, Wisconsin. And man, that Allen and Guerendo combination is one of the very best running back combinations in the entire Big Ten Conference. And that offensive line is getting better. This whole team at Wisconsin is getting better. This is a Wisconsin program that historically, once November hits, once the weather cools down, they get hotter and they get better. There's no question about that. So it starts with the running game. And how can they run the football? Because this is an Iowa defense that's been very good against the run the last couple of games. Right now, they're third in the Big Ten in rush defense, allowing just 92.8 yards per game. Iowa hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher since Chase Brown did against them in October 8th in that field goal game against the Illini. 3 straight games with no 100-yard rusher. That includes Ohio State, that includes Northwestern, and that includes their last game against Purdue. This is going to be a big battle up front. You know, when you talk about a matchup like an Iowa and Wisconsin, these two teams, you know, ever since Kirk Ferentz came in and then Barry Alvarez back in the day in the early 90s for Wisconsin, they've looked generally the same. These are tough physical teams up front. These are good defenses. So how this game sways one way or another, it's going to be determined in the trenches, because, man, it's always determined in the trenches when Iowa and Wisconsin get together. If Wisconsin can run the football effectively like they have been, and then maybe Graham Mertz, has less opportunities to turn the football over, even though I think he's gotten a lot better since last season throwing the football. I believe Bobby Ingram's been able to do something with him as offensive coordinator that other guys in the past have not been able to do. And I think a lot of that is because now they got someone other than Chimere Dike that they can throw the football to. Okay, if Wisconsin's able to run the ball, you put it into the air. Now, we know how good Iowa's defensive backs are, but look at a guy like Skylar Bell. Could be an X factor in this game. I already mentioned Chimere Dike on the outside. Because if they can run the football, and a bunch of Iowa guys come in and stack the box, maybe they can hit a few plays going over the top. I don't think this is going to be an overly high-scoring game. This is going to be a defensive football game. Who makes the least amount of mistakes? Because both of these defenses can force you into big-time mistakes. The Wisconsin defense has forced 4 interceptions in their last 2 games. You go back to that game a couple of weeks ago. Aiden O'Connell, 3 interceptions in that game. So the big question is for Iowa. I really believe, kind of like Wisconsin, can Kaleb Johnson have another really good game? He did really good against Northwestern. He did awesome against Purdue, having that big-time breakout game. That when we look back a couple of years from now, and Kaleb Johnson is maybe one of the better backs that Iowa has had, it's that Purdue game is going to be his big-time breakout game where he solidified himself as the top running back in this Iowa program. So if they can, and you saw, look at the last 2 weeks. Look at how much better this Iowa offense is when they can run the football on early downs. I said it in my preview last year. If they can get going, you got some guys on the outside. You got the tight ends, Sam Laporta and Luke Lachey, Nico Reganey. I mean, you got guys that you can throw the football to, and man, does Spencer Petras look a lot more comfortable when you get the running game going and you've got better matchups on the outside. I think early in this season, defenses didn't have to commit as many resources, I think, to the running game, and they were able to defend the pass a little bit more, and they stifled Spencer Petras a little bit more. Wisconsin up front is going to have a big day, because I firmly believe if Wisconsin can slow down this running game, this Iowa offense could. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying it could regress back to what we saw earlier in this season, because if they can't run the football, I like it what Wisconsin has on the outside. Alexander Smith, Jay Shaw, John Torchio out there in the secondary. I'm not sure if these Iowa receivers and tight ends are going to be able to get open. Then I look at their linebackers. I look at the young guy Jordan Turner in there. Of course, I look at Nick Herbig. That is a huge factor in this game. You look at what Nick Herbig did against Maryland, getting into the backfield all afternoon long against Maryland. He's one of the very best pass rushers, not only in the Big Ten, but in my opinion, in all of college football. Can Iowa keep him out of the backfield? If he can disrupt and get in there time after time after time, even if he doesn't get home every single time, okay, he doesn't have to sack the quarterback every single time, but if he gets in there and disrupts Spencer Petras, it could be a long, long day for the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's very simple. Who runs the football better? Who plays better in the trenches? And man, there's a lot at stake. If Purdue can somehow beat Illinois, the winner of this game could be in a real good position, because then Illinois's got to play Michigan. So this game's got a lot on the line between the Hawkeyes and the Badgers. Want to know what you guys think of this matchup? Who's going to take it home? Who's going to be more physical between these behemoths and the Badgers and the Hawkeyes? Love seeing this matchup every single season. Leave your thoughts, leave your predictions in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Big Ten Ted. I'm Big Ten Ted, and we will see you in the next one.